Hey, what's up, gang? This is Darrell from Darrell Ho-Shing Photography, and in this video, I'm going to show you how I shot this photo of Royce the 5'9". Now, if you don't know who Royce the 5'9" is, you better get your Googling on. You can't mention Royce's name without mentioning Eminem. You know, the friendship, the partnership between these two. They've recorded an album together, numerous songs. And yeah, man, I was like super excited to work with Royce. Definitely one of my favorite MCs of all time. And yeah, so how I shot these shots is interesting. Just talking to Royce before the shoot, he wanted basically just some studio shots, promo shots, whatever. And he wanted various colored backdrops. So I brought a bunch of my backdrops. I brought my gray one, I brought my red one, I brought my yellow one, I brought my blue one. I think those are the ones I brought. I didn't end up using all those. I only used the gray backdrop. And basically what I did was I used gels. So gels are just these transparent, different colored sheets. So I got the red, blue, and I have a whole bunch of different gels, all sorts of colors, yellow, every color you can think of. So basically what I did was I used the gels to change the color of the backdrop. So I'll get into that in a bit later. The first shot I did, we started off just simple with the gray backdrop. And this shot here, this was the cover of his Layers album. He ended up using this shot for the Layers album cover. This shot actually was my least favorite of the shoot. The reason being was I didn't think there was anything spectacular with this shot. It was literally a test shot. I was just messing around. It's probably like one of the first shots we took, but Royce loved it. And that's something you're going to notice when you're doing shoots with people. A shot that you may hate, the client may love it. So in this case, this happened. You know, I had so many amazing shots that I wish he used those for the album cover, but it's all good. He liked that shot, and that's all that matters, is pleasing your client. So this shot ended up being on the cover of his Layers album. You can go Google that. As you can see here, we got the gray backdrop. How I lit this one is simple. Two lights. I used the key light was a beauty dish. So the beauty dish was to his left, and then on his right behind him, so the beauty dish is 45-degree angle in front of him to his left, and then 45-degree angle behind him to his right was a strip box, 8 by 36 inch strip box. I believe I had a grid on it. The grid just basically restricts the light. When you don't have a grid, light kind of shoots everywhere. A grid kind of like keeps it directional, so you don't have light coming into your lens and creating lens flare. Then the next shot we did was I decided to throw a grid on the beauty dish. So the only thing different I did was I just threw a grid on the beauty dish, and then I came up with this shot. And the exact same lighting, the lighting was in the same position. The backdrop, it was still the gray backdrop, but because I'm using the grid, the light is not spilling everywhere. So when you use the grid, like I said, it's going to be real directional. So I just ensured that no light was hitting the backdrop. So I was using an Einstein, two Einsteins actually, and they both have modeling lights. So the modeling light is a continuous light, and basically it's going to show you where the light lands, the shadows, and so forth. So I just angled the strobe. I took Royce far away from the backdrop, and I angled the light so that the light is only hitting him. It's not hitting the backdrop. And when it's not hitting the backdrop, you're going to get a dark backdrop. I was shooting at f8. I was using the 70-200 2.8L version 2 lens, and according to Joel Grimes, the sweet spot is at f8. 2 to 3 stops above wide open is the sweet spot. That's where the lens is the sharpest. So I took that advice from Joel Grimes, and I like shooting at f8 for studio shots, and that's how I got like that super sharp. And also when you're shooting at f8, you're cutting down a lot of the light, so therefore you're going to get your background a bit darker. Then I use the maximum sync speed, which is 1/160th, and then that's how I changed the backdrop. So Royce was amazed because he's seeing with his naked eye, he's seeing a gray backdrop, but then I show him the picture and it's a black backdrop. And that's how you get to wow your clients. When you start learning these technical skills, you start to wow your clients. He was really wowed with that. The next shot now, what I did was same thing, except I threw on a red gel, and I put one strobe behind Royce. I got Royce standing in front of the strobe, and so it's blocking it and it's pointing towards the backdrop, and now that strobe turns the backdrop red. So now I got the same lighting set up. I'm still using the grids, right, because I don't want my key light, I don't want my rim light hitting the backdrop, or else it's going to wash it out. So the only light that's hitting the backdrop is the strobe with the red gel. And this shot here ended up being in double XL in October, I think it was 2015, last year, 2014, can't remember. But it ended up being in the double XL issue, and I was really proud of that. And Royce loved this shot too. And imagine again, you know, he's seeing a gray backdrop, I take a picture, and now he sees a red backdrop in camera. Like, that just totally wows your client. And I don't tell them what I'm doing, I just do it and show them after. They're totally wowed. They're gonna think you are the greatest photographer. So that's a trick I like doing. Another shot, I threw on yellow gel. I threw on a yellow gel, and again, I'm keeping the same lighting setup. I'm not changing things up too much because that just wastes time. I'm keeping the same setup, and then I'm throwing on different colored gels. And basically, I'm basing it off of what he's wearing. I'm looking what he's wearing. I'm like, okay, this color backdrop is going to look good with what you're wearing. So I just kept switching it up. So those are some shots from my photo shoot with Royce the 5'9". If you never heard of Royce, I suggest you do some Google work. Check him out. He's definitely one of the dopest MCs in the rap game. And yeah, man, thanks for tuning in. And check you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Darrell Ho-Shing. Follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/Darrell Ho-Shing. And follow me on any other social media sites that I'm on. And check out my website, DarrellHoshing.com. Thank you very much for watching, and check you guys next time.